I didn't move into my son Josh's house with much, just 2 worn suitcases, an old quilt from my bedroom back home, and a framed photo of my late husband, James. That photo was the anchor I carried everywhere, my reminder of the man who used to tell me, "Linda, you are the strongest woman I know." When James passed, his life insurance payout landed in my account. $180,000. Every penny of it represented decades of his hard work, our quiet dreams, and the future we thought we'd spend together in peace. But Josh was young, newly married to Megan, and desperate to buy a 4-bedroom house in the Charlotte suburbs. Their bank turned them down. I didn't hesitate, not once. I handed Josh the full $180,000 and told him, "It's your future. It's our family's stability." Megan hugged me like a Hallmark card, swearing, "You'll always have a home with us." Josh kissed my cheek and promised, "You'll never have to lift a finger again." It felt right. I believed them. The house itself looked like something out of a catalogue. White walls, grey floors, a kitchen so polished it looked allergic to burnt pans. My room was a downstairs guest suite, twin bed, no closet. A half bath without a shower, but I didn't care. I was just grateful to wake up and hear voices in the morning again. Josh even made me coffee those first few days. Megan showed me how to use their smart thermostat, though she sighed each time I forgot. We had one family dinner, all smiles and laughter. I thought maybe, just maybe, I wasn't alone anymore. But within 2 weeks, the little cracks started to show. I overheard Megan joking to her friends, "I live with 2 kids and a grandma." Josh groaned when I asked about putting a shelf in the laundry room. Then came the real insults. The upstairs fridge was locked with a padlock. Megan said it was for meal prepping. The modem was moved upstairs. My Netflix stopped working for days. I overheard Megan whisper on the phone, "She's sweet, but this isn't sustainable." I stayed quiet. I cooked. I folded towels. I wiped counters. I smiled when Megan hinted about turning the downstairs den into a nursery. I told myself it was fine. But then, one morning, I heard Josh's voice through the kitchen wall. "She won't leave if we keep being nice. We have to push her out, make it uncomfortable." "She'll leave herself." Megan's reply was colder. "She won't sign her share over unless she feels unwanted. Just keep the pressure on." I froze. My only son was scheming to get rid of me, for space, for a nursery, for convenience. That night, I made chicken Alfredo, Josh's favorite. Neither came to dinner. I sat alone, eating in silence, remembering all the nights I stayed up with him when he was sick, all the birthdays, all the soccer games. The next morning, Megan walked in with folded arms. "Linda, we think it's time you looked for something more permanent, for your own comfort." Josh followed, sipping coffee like nothing was happening. "We don't have space for you anymore, Mom. You need to go." I didn't cry. I didn't argue. I wiped my hands on a dish towel, smiled faintly, and said, "Okay, I'll be out tonight." They blinked. Maybe they expected begging. Instead, I packed my 2 suitcases, James's photo, and one red folder I'd kept hidden. Inside was the deed to the house listing me as 49% co-owner. I didn't say goodbye. I called a cab and left. That night in the motel, I clutched that folder like it was a newborn. My heart wasn't broken, it was resolved. I wasn't mad, just done. The next morning, my phone rang. A man named Brad from Carolina Private Lending said, "Ms. Carter, your son defaulted on a $95,000 business loan. The house is collateral. Foreclosure begins Friday." Josh had gambled the home I partly owned on a startup that collapsed in months. And he hadn't told me. Brad gave me options: pay the loan or release my claim and let foreclosure proceed. I signed the release that afternoon with the same blue pen I once used for Josh's school permission. Slips. By Friday, the sheriff's office would lock them out. The texts poured in. "Josh, Did you cancel something? We got a weird letter. Megan, Linda, please, we're confused. Josh again, we're ruined. You did this. I ignored them. Silence was my weapon now. The bright orange foreclosure notice went up on their front door within 48 hours. Megan scrambled on Facebook, posting about scams and betrayal. Neighbors, friends, and relatives messaged me, repeating her lies. Linda, how could you? I wanted to shout the truth. I wanted to post the deed, the loan, the proof, but my father's words echoed in my head. Don't wrestle with pigs, you'll get dirty, and they'll enjoy it. So I stayed quiet. When the lockout came, Josh left a furious voicemail. You ruined us. Mom, I hope you're happy. Megan sent a text dripping with poison. Congrats, you destroyed your family. But I wasn't destroyed. I was free. Megan doubled down online, painting me as an abuser. She even posted TikToks crying in front of a U-Haul, claiming I'd evicted a pregnant woman. Strangers rushed to her defense, sending sympathy and offers of money. But lies rot in sunlight. Eventually, I leaked the truth quietly, surgically. Screenshots of the deed, bank transfers, foreclosure papers, Megan's text. Once she's gone, we can finally plan the nursery. I didn't add commentary. I let the evidence speak within hours. The sympathy shifted. Silence fell. People realized who the liars were. Josh tried one last time, showing up at my motel door with flowers, asking me to sign just a document to help fix things. It was power of attorney paperwork, another trick to drain my accounts. I told him flatly, get out. His last words, we'll lose the baby's future, Mom. I looked him in the eye and said, you already did. I blocked his number, filed for a restraining order, sent every receipt and document to a local magazine, who published my side. When help becomes a weapon, one mother's account of financial betrayal. For once, my story wasn't twisted. It was truth. And then I walked away. I rented a small condo near Wilmington with ocean access. The first night, I stood barefoot on the balcony, tea in hand, listening to the waves. The silence wasn't lonely anymore. It was peace. I updated my will. Josh's name was gone. Instead, everything would go to charities I believed in. A week later, I got a letter from Josh. For lines long, he said he named the baby Emily Linda Carter. My name. I didn't cry. I didn't reply. Because the truth is, when they said there was no space for me, what they really meant was there was no space for love, for loyalty, for respect. So I left. And I never looked back. So that's the story. If you were in my shoes, would you have stayed quiet or would you have blasted the truth online? Let me know in the comments. And if you stuck with me through this emotional rollercoaster, hit that like button, subscribe, and check out the next story. You won't want to miss it.